This is Sakamoto Talks Biology. I'm Manabu Sakamoto, lecturer in zoology. I'm also a paleontologist by training. This holiday, we went to see the new Avatar film, Avatar Fire and Ash. It was a really immersive experience and visually stunning film with bioluminescence everywhere, from not just the animals, but also the plants and the various parts of the ecosystems. As a biologist, my eyes are always drawn to the animals and their ecosystem. But one animal in particular stood out, and that is the Tulkun. So I think it'll be fun today to discuss some features and anatomy of animals we have here on Earth, which may have provided the inspiration for the Tulkun. Tulkun, as depicted in the film, are highly intelligent animals. They build strong bonds with the Navi people. Not only that, they live in large groups, and they seem to have quite complex social structures, even having culture, including things like singing and making music. The thing that really stands out about them is their sheer size. They're immense, massive animals. Now, the largest animals on Earth are whales, and in particular, the largest animal on Earth is the blue whale. Blue whales can grow up to about 30 meters in length, weighing about 100 tons. And they are also born really large as well. Their newborn calves can be about 6 to 7 meters long, weighing about 2 to 3 tons. The calves stay with their mothers for about 6 to 8 months, and then after they wean, they just leave basically the mother. And so they don't seem to be living in as a family unit. Now, I can't quite remember from the film how long the Tulkun babies stay with their mothers, but given that they do live in pods, it's quite likely that they probably are part of the big social family group, and they probably stay together with their mothers for a very long period of time. Contrast that with the blue whale. The blue whales actually are not social animals. They, as far as we know, they are more solitary than social. Aside from their size, the Tulkun don't seem to have much in common with the blue whale, especially with regards to their social structures and behavior. So in that respect, the Tulkun seem to be more similar to other whales. One anatomical feature that really stood out to me was that the Tulkun don't really seem to have any teeth. So what do they eat? But before we talk about what Tulkun might eat and how they might eat, I wanted to discuss our whales on Earth and how they eat and what kind of anatomical features they have that help them to eat. Now, there are two types of whales on Earth. The first one is the toothed whale, which includes dolphins and orcas, which are also known as killer whales. The second type of whales are the baleen whales, which include the blue whales and other similar whales. Toothed whales have conical teeth, which are cone-shaped and pointy, and they use these teeth to pierce into and basically grasp their prey. Or they might suck prey in and then they grasp it. But it is really about capturing prey by piercing. And they usually eat relatively large prey like squid, fish, larger mammals, penguins, and even big mammals like really big seals. Baleen whales, on the other hand, have no teeth. But instead of having teeth, they have something called the baleen, hence their name. Baleen are curtain-like sheets of keratin, basically like hair and nail, that act as a filter. And what happens is that the baleen whale will open its mouth very wide, let a lot of water into their mouth, and then, but they don't swallow the water. So they basically fill their mouths up with water, but they close their mouth up, they push the water through the baleen, but any kind of particles and little food that was in the water will be trapped inside the curtain, the filter. And then they use their tongue to swipe it all up, and then they swallow it. So they don't really drink the water, they basically push it out through that curtain. So back to Tulkuns. Tulkuns don't have teeth, and they don't have baleens either. So what are they eating, and how are they capturing their prey? I think Tulkuns might be eating in a similar way to basking sharks and whale sharks. Basking sharks and whale sharks, as the name suggests, are sharks. They're not whales. They're not even mammals. they're a type of fish. And sharks are an ancient radiation of fish, meaning they have more primitive features than other fish as well. One of those is a cartilaginous skeleton, meaning that their skeleton is made entirely of cartilage. They don't have bony skeletons like us or any other kind of fish as well. That makes them really flexible, and that's quite beneficial for them. But like other fishes, sharks also have gills. And gills are these little filamentous, kind of like a curtain kind of structure again. And they have several pairs of gills on both sides of their faces. And they use this for respiration, and they draw oxygen from the water using the gills. But gills also have a secondary function, which is to trap little particles of food that's floating in the water. Fishes and sharks use the same mechanism. They usually open their mouth really wide, and they let the water flow through their mouth, into their mouth, and they float out of the gills. In that process, the food gets trapped into these gills, and they collect up the food from the gills, and then they swallow it whole. So basking sharks and whale sharks do that as well. And given they don't have very distinguishable teeth, or sometimes they are lacking teeth entirely, so these sharks are probably very similar in a way that Tulkun might eat. And so next time I watch the film, I have to really pay attention if I can spot any kind of gill slits or something like that at the back of their mouths. So I really enjoyed Avatar. Watching all the fictional creatures like the Na'vi and the Tulkun are really fun. But I think the life we have here on Earth are equally amazing.